Hello everybody, it's Auston Holleman, live from Bucharest, Romania. I'm very happy to be here, and I have the one and only, the Legion of Men right here. It's the Legion of Men, right?
Both,
I
Legion of
knew
Men,
he was
yeah.
a tribe of men. But
Had a name change.
he showed me the better part of the city. Not that the part that I was in was bad at all, but this is even better. And it makes me want to stay a whole month. If I wasn't a YouTuber, I probably wouldn't leave at all. So would you go ahead and introduce yourself to people that don't know you on my channel?
Hey, I'm Bo from Legion of Men, formerly Tribe of Men. I'm sure most of you know we cross-pollinate a bunch of viewers. And I recently moved to Bucharest myself, and I've been here for, 4 or 5 months now. So I'm still learning the area, but today I took him around everywhere just to show him different parts, because he's been here how many days now? 6 days, and mixed reviews. Mixed reviews in the area he was in, but able to take him in the part I live and just show him around literally just today. So a few hours, and it's completely changed his point of view so far.
So would you tell everybody how you ended up in Romania? What brought you here? Are you Romanian? Are you American?
So I am Romanian by birth, born here in '89. My parents left because all the crazy communism stuff happening, and came into the States around '91. Stayed there most of my life, but then I got sent back here to go to school. So I did get educated in Romania up until 2nd grade. That's why I know the language. I could read it, write it, speak it. And then came back to the United States, stayed there permanently after that. That was the final move. And it wasn't until recently that I started to get this idea in my head of moving back to the, quote, motherland. Everything we see happening in America, the crazy culture wars, radicalization, politics, everything's getting out of hand, like homelessness, cost of living has gotten crazy. So I figured, hey, I technically am a citizen of Romania. Why not come back and at least dip my toe, how much it's modernized from what I remember as a kid, because the difference was stark. 1990s Romania compared to America was like a whole different planet.
What was the difference?
1990s Romania was one car on the road. It was a Dacia. Every single car you see on the road was one car manufactured in Romania.
Really?
And during communist times, my parents told me stories. I was too young, but there were bread lines. There were like, men can only drive on this Wednesday. Women can drive on this Tuesday. Hey, Mondays, there's eggs available. And then another day something else was available. It really was hard times. And then once communism fell and the gates to the West opened, we got flooded with Western products, but it was very like decentralized Wild West. Like I remember as a kid, I could go to the store on my little bicycle with a list my parents or my grandparents gave me that had alcohol, that had cigarettes. As long as you handed them money in the store, they gave it to you. And all the locals knew that you were shopping for grandparents, for parents, whatever. You're just a little kid, but it was very normal. Like school buses didn't exist. You just walked to school as a little kid, as a kindergartner. You walked to school with all the little kindergartners. It's like a completely different planet. Nowadays, it's modernized. It's completely different. Honestly, you can't really tell the difference, as you've noticed in the areas I've taken you. It's one-to-one comparison with America, if not better in a lot of aspects. Yeah.
Well, I would say better because the buses are electric here.
Yeah,
I know you can't hear any. It's a lot of electric vehicles, and the Ubers are very nice compared to the United States, and well, I guess some parts of the United States and the other countries I've been to as well. So, who would you recommend come visit Romania and possibly live here?
Everybody, man. Visiting everybody, just to witness a different culture, just to get out of being closed-minded and in America where you've only traveled, say, statewide, somewhere here and there. Different people, different language, different style of food, style of living, like the pace of life is different here. And don't be scared off by what you see online or what you heard or the stereotypes, because there are a lot of like, this is a communist, crazy ass shithole. It's like, authoritarian. It's not at all. And you've noticed, you're going to see videos from his channel with all the clips he's taken. You can't tell. It looks like we're in America. Yeah. It looks like we're in a very nice mall. We maybe saw one homeless person, and that was weird to see. I'd never seen him there. Yeah. But the parks were clean. You can't tell the difference. Don't buy into the stereotypes, and you're going to see that cost of living and the way the government works and the access to like healthcare, clean food, you're going to see what you're missing from the United States. Like we get brought up in the US with this like superior ideology of like everything is good here. The rest of the world is screwed up, right? It's just like we live in our own little bubble in the States. It's like everywhere else is the sticks except America. You know what I mean? And then you come to these parts of the world and you're like, wait a second, like their roads are nicer. Their hospitals are just as nice. Like, why are the people all slim and healthy? Why does this food taste so good? Why am I not getting sick from eating this and that? You know, like I don't feel bloated. I don't feel low energy. Like, wow, everything's like good. You know, the apartment, everything is nice. And that's going to be the real shock that you're going to see. Like, man, we're not living as good as they're telling us out in the States.
Okay. I can 100% agree with that. Everything is just as modern, if not more modern in many ways. Okay. So about dating, because I know a lot of my audience was here about dating. What would you compare dating in Romania to many places you've been to in the States? So I guess a generalization of the States.
Yeah. The women here are really feminine and traditional in the sense that, if you want to call it red pill, they will ask you how much you make a year if they're vetting you for something serious. Starting families and family ties are very important here. Traditions are very important here. If a woman's going to take you serious, she has to know from the get-go you can earn enough to sustain a family and children. Most foreigners that come here are turned off by how quick a woman will ask for what you do for a living and how much you make, thinking it's like gold digging. In the United States, we would consider that gold digging because typically, you know, most of the women are working, earning their own money, have no inkling of starting a family or kids or anything. They're just kind of finessing you and seeing enough of like, can he take me out? Can he spend money on me? But over here, the mentality is like, can you support a family if we have kids together? Can you take care of me? Because she's not trying to work and have children. Like, it is really traditional in that sense out here. That's on the serious side. If you're dating for like casual hookups, night clubbing, just meeting people, you know, hookup culture, you'll find it here. It is pretty much relaxed because it is a European capital, but still, it's not so adversarial. The women don't look at you as an enemy. You're not evil just because you're a man. They do appreciate being approached. They are very feminine, very submissive. You can go out a date, bring a girl home, you know, have a blast together, and you can wake up to her cooking you a meal in your own kitchen as like a thank you. You don't have to ask. It's just natural to take care of your man. Like, this is what we do. It's very natural for, if she finds out where you live or you have to take her home to your spot, she will come and bring you food. She like is a thoughtful gesture, comes here and brings you like a fruit salad, something. Like, hey, I know you're busy with work, or hey, stopped by in the area, wanted to bring you something. Are you free? Blah, blah. Yeah, it's different in that sense that women here appreciate men still and don't see us as like a problem. It's like, men ain't shit, or men are this and that. You know what I mean? It's not the adversarial energy in the United States completely missing here. People still understand they need one another. Men are good at being men. Women are good at being women. There's nothing wrong with that. People know that coming together is power. Okay, so that treatment you recommended, that's for long-term stays, though, right? How long would you recommend somebody stay to experience them? Really, it's hard to say, man. Depends on the woman you meet. If you go out clubbing at night, as long as you're here for probably a good 30 days, it's fine. Most women will be okay with 30 days. If you're here just stopping by on the weekend, it's like you're meeting a girl out and saying, hey, I'm here for the next night or two or whatever, you're probably going to struggle. You know what I mean? But if you're here for longer term, 30 days or more, a year's better. If you make an effort to like make this home base and they see that this is your home base, absolutely, you're in the goal. It's perfect. She's like, okay, this guy could be serious with me. I'm not wasting my time. It's not just a hookup. I could see something potentially happening here. It's worth investing in him. And so you'll have a good time. And like I said, if you're a foreigner coming here, you're winning because your salary is so much higher than the natives. It gives you bonus points. Like, it's easier here. And it's not because the women are easier. It's because, bro, you have an advantage with money. You make good money compared to the locals. You're a foreigner, so you're exotic. You know what I mean? You stand out. It's a different culture. The people here are very welcoming of different people because it's interesting. You know, Romanians take pride in other people visiting their country, spending time here, learning about it. If you make the smallest effort as a foreigner to learn how to say hello and bye, or thank you or I love you, just to mess around with girls. Telling a girl I love you in Romanian, just messing with her as a foreigner, she'll like fall head over heels. It's a sweet, yeah. Te iubesc. Okay, that's it. You literally say, like, walking past a girl in public and like catching, you know, eyes meet, and you just go, oh my God, I just have to tell you, te iubesc. And then she'll start laughing immediately, like, bro, done. You got it right then and there. It's the icebreaker. A perfect icebreaker, because it's just so ridiculous to say just out like that. Okay. And they appreciate it.
So what tips, because we spoke about this earlier, what tips would you give a foreigner? Because people will hear that just because I'm a foreigner, I can go down there and win because my salary isn't that. But you said that they appreciate or they really judge you based off of appearance and your social skills. What advice would you give for someone?
When you do visit here, we're very much stuck in the appearance matters, like keeping up with the Joneses. You can consider that a negative, but it's also why the women look as good as they do, because they're constantly trying to look their best. Now, when the women are tip-top, dressed to the nines, every single time they go out, you're not going to see chicks in Lululemons and like dressed down for any occasion. Even a simple grocery store trip for like 5 minutes, they're dressing up. You have to understand that if the women are doing that, they're looking at the men in the same manner. If you're going out in public, dressed down, looking like a bum, hair's not done, beard not lined up, you're looking disheveled like a mess, it will count against you big time, because it translates into the rest of your life. They'll look at you like, well, if you can't keep your appearance together, you can't keep your place together, you can't keep your bank account together, your job together, like it just branches out into the rest of your existence in their mind. Plus, because appearances matter so much, she can't be caught dead like on your arm, right? Being seen in public, she's dressed up and you're dressed down, and like everybody else is like, what is she doing with him? You know what I mean? So don't think you can come here and skate by on just like, I'm a foreigner and you're out of shape and your money's not that right. You know, like if you're coming here to penny pinch, bro, I gotta be honest with you, Bucharest is not where you want to be. Like penny pinching, like that you could do in some parts of Southeast Asia, you know, because it's just cost of living so cheap. You might be in a shock because this is one of the more expensive European capitals.
So let's talk about how much is the cost of living? Like, what is the average foreigner going to come here and spend based off? I know most of us will come here and we'll see that we're saving so much money that we'll just raise our cost, actually more than what you probably would have spent in the States because you think you have more money, which I guess you do. But what would you say we would spend on average as far as rent, groceries, or eating out, Ubers?
$2,000 a month standard for sure.
Really?
$2,000 a month, but that covers everything. That will get you clean food. That will get you Uber everywhere. That will pay for your apartment, let you go out a couple of nights, you know, with your woman, go out on dates, meet girls. You're not going to be like surviving. Like $2,000 a month in America is like, bro, I'm scraping by. I got to eat like box dinners. I can't really go out to even see a movie. Like you're really scraping by. On $2,000 a month here, you're living. But it doesn't compare to like Asian places where you can live on $1,000, like, bro, good. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it is more expensive. If you are coming in here with a tight budget, know that you can do way better on the countryside, regional cities. Like if you go out to, you know, let's say Brasov or Cluj and these other places, it almost gets cut down in half. Like this is just exorbitantly expensive for the area because the capital's here, all the wealth is concentrated here, all the business is here. But you go to the regional cities, everything gets cut in half immediately. So you could rent a place out for 300, 400 euros, easy. Again, there's a trade-off with this because amenities, you're going to lose out on a ton. Here in the capital, we have all the amenities we need, which is why it's nice. Also, it's expensive compared to the regional cities where you may lose out on a bunch of amenities. Like there's not going to be a big electronics store where you need maybe some product immediately, you know, like we had that issue today. But cost of living, way cheaper. Less restaurants, you know, transportation's way worse, you know, way less people, so less stuff to do. If you're looking to like retire somewhere and like get away from it all, sure, the regional places are nice. If you're a young guy looking to experience life and be out, hustle and bustle of the city and all that, you're going to have to come to Bucharest or Cluj.
Okay, so you said that in the regional cities, you could rent an apartment for about 400 euros. What about here for a one bedroom?
Probably somewhere in the range of like 600 to 700, 800 euros.
Okay, so
and it'll depend on the area. Yeah, it won't be too bad, but you won't be in like the really nice area. You know, so it's a small trade-off. But around 2,000, you can for sure get by, man. Not as a single man, for sure. You know.
Okay, so what would the average meal be if I go out to eat?
Meal? Average meal, you could definitely do, what would that be? $11.
$11, okay.
About $11 to $12 will get you a meal. You could eat on $20 a day here twice, and really good meals with a drink, everything. Super doable. We went to a really nice restaurant, and I think we spent $80.
Oh, and that was $80.
That was like $80, and we had 2 coffees, Angus steak, American, and I had truffle pasta. It was like $80.
The steak would have been $80 by itself.
Yeah. So compared to the United States, it's way cheaper. Now we're talking 5-star places that we went to. But if you go to any mom and pop, like normal restaurants, little cafe spots, $10. It could be a whole meal, which doesn't compare to Thailand where it's like $1, $2. You know what I mean?
Super cheap there.
Yeah.
It's super cheap. But there's a trade-off with it.
Exactly.
There's a trade-off with everything. So most of my audience is black. Like we spoke about stereotypes earlier about it's Eastern, or you said communism, but then there's another side you said earlier, which was Eastern Europe, they're anti-black.
Yeah.
You know, that's what most people say. But I can say since I've been here, that's been like a very minimal experience. Like maybe small things like you said before with the older generation.
Yeah.
But people around my age, your age, no. So
you won't notice it. They're deep in the culture, man. Like watching TV, TikTok, all that stuff. They're all well traveled. A lot of the younger people here are students of the major universities. They have working abroad programs, learning abroad programs. Being black in Eastern Europe is not what it used to be. Maybe in the 90s when the country was closed off and no foreigners here and it was weird. But now with like the globalization happening and how well traveled people are here, it's not a shock to see black people. It's not weird to be black in Eastern Europe. It's just like you walking around, it's kind of a shock because you're like, hey, they're not really paying attention to me. I'm just another dude. You know what I mean? It's not like the overt, like, oh my God, there goes a black guy. It's just like, whatever, dude. People are off busy doing their own thing. Yeah,
that's what I said. It's like that in the Philippines where they want to take pictures and they call you Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, Will Smith.
They would never dare. That would be embarrassing to do that here,
Yeah, but here I think they just give you maybe a little longer look because you're rare, but they don't just, whoa, what is that?
Yeah, it'll be more like, oh, a foreigner.
It's just like, oh, it's different. And they'll continue talking, doing whatever they're doing. So what about black men dating Romanian women? How would that experience be to you?
Now that one is interesting. I think the women are far more accepting, but careful, you get scratched on you. I think, long-term dating and marrying into a family is very interesting to me because I thought about this before. Getting the acceptance of the parents probably would be where you would find your first hiccup. And I don't think this is very, specific to Romania because I grew up in Atlanta too. And when my friends that were black brought home a white girl, auntie was tripping. Uncle was probably like, dapping you up. But some people in the family were like, nah, what are you doing? I think you'll find the same here. It's really no different. It depends on the family, how educated they are and well cultured and traveled. I think the further you get into the countryside and you try to assimilate into a family, you'll probably run into issues because they're very isolated from the world. In Bucharest, probably way easier, but there will always be a preference for dating your own kind and having families and stuff like that. So will it be a challenge? I think so. Have I seen mixed race couples here? A lot, actually. And walking around the park I took you, you'll see a lot of mixed race couples. And I've met other black men out here that are either working here temporarily or living here for the moment, past a year already. And they're got a different women on their arm every day, damn near, or dating and doing very well. Very well. You're exotic. If you're black in Eastern Europe, you're exotic. I'm telling you, you have an advantage. If you're good looking and take care of yourself and not overweight and dress nice, smell good, bright smile, good energy, like it's a huge plus, man. It's like me, a white guy, going to the Philippines or something, you know what I mean? It's like, or somewhere even more rare where there's hardly any white people. It's like stand out immediately. The exoticism is attractive and it almost trumps even bad game, because they'll put up with you being a little clumsy socially because you're so different. So I think black men would absolutely crush you here as long as you take care of yourself and your money's right, because I don't want to say they're gold digging out here, but what I said before about the traditionalism and stuff like that, if you're trying to pick up women, like they're going to look at your wallet, because other than that, it'd be a waste of time. Like, am I going to risk getting pregnant by this dude? Am I going to risk, all that stuff? If he's broke, it's not worth it. I mean, we passed those restaurants and you saw the cars that were parked out there. There is money in the area. Like, don't think you're going to come here and it's like you're on another level. You're well off as a Westerner, but no, like your competition, there is a ton. There's a lot of money in the area, surprisingly. Yeah.
Okay, that was a very good way of explaining it.
Yeah.
So there was a situation in Greece where there was a black American that got beat to death basically because he was with a Greek woman and some other Greek guys, I guess, were envious. What are the chances of something like that happening here?
Low. I think
it's low too.
Very low. I think that happened in Greece because they have a unique problem with all the migrants. I think there's a lot of social disruption and pressure of Greece accepting migrants, which is causing a lot of tension with the locals. I mean, when boatloads of people are coming, straight off into the beach and migrating from North Africa over, and Europe's telling you to keep them all and figure out how to house them and all that, it's going to cause issue with the locals. So I think racism there has probably increased due to that tension. Here, there's not a problem with like mass illegal immigration and like refugees, and it's all very safe here and normal. There's no tensions, man. Nothing's like boiling and simmering in a pot. So you dating and just having a Romanian girlfriend doesn't really raise any eyebrows because they have no reason to have that tension. Our news isn't filled with like racial crap going on. Our borders are safe. There's nothing like that going on to like kind of seed that kind of hate, like maybe happening in Greece. I think personally that's what's happening in Greece because they're getting overwhelmed. Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much covered everything. One last question. What is your opinion on Andrew Tate or the Tate brothers?
I think misunderstood by the mainstream media. I think targeted because he speaks truth to certain topics that are stepping on too many people's money. Like what I believe in life is you're allowed to step on one person's at a time and get in their lane and mess their money up. But if you do it to too many people at once, that's when the system turns on you. So COVID was one of the things you weren't allowed to speak on, during the height of the pandemic. He did, and he was showing off partying, I think in Sweden where they were open, and saying how stupid everybody was that was locked down and all this other crazy shit at the height of the whole pandemic. Now, when you say that and get famous real quick and then have videos of you with your own girls just having fun, playing little skits, he didn't really hit anybody. That was just messing around on camera. Anybody that gets laid could tell you that he was just playing around with his woman. But the mainstream narrative got kicked into overdrive because he stepped on too many toes, pharmaceutical companies, started messing too many people's money all at once, coupled with his influence, they had to put him down. So what the media does, and we've seen this with who recently? The British guy that does commentary on the news, Russell Brand. Russell Brand just got literally accused for assaulting women or something like this. An accusation, by the way. No police of investigation, simply like their version of CNN in the UK, accused him with witnesses that are obviously kept behind a veil, so nobody knows who they are. It's just, hey, we happen to have witnesses. Nobody comes forward. The simple accusation was enough to get him kicked off the YouTube platform, monetization, losing all his events, all his comedy things that he had lined up. Everybody kicked him out and left him out to dry, simply because speaking truth to power, with that influence he had, they have to get rid of him somehow. I think personally, I don't want to get too deep and risk stuff, but we have elections coming around the corner. You have to understand the system is going to start clamping down on any divisive, anything that would be considered out of the narrative for the mainstream. So as we get closer, you're going to see them all clamp down on what you're allowed to say. So that's all I believe that happened to Andrew Tate. I don't think he beats women. I don't think he does all this crazy shit that they say about him. I think he made himself an easy target because of the lifestyle he's lived, the women that he had around him. And you have to think, man, he got falsely accused by those chicks of, assaulting them. And then they were out there posting on Instagram, dancing the next day. I saw the clips and how they were partying and having a good time. There's CCTV footage of them walking in and out of his house. Nobody's being held against their will. It's just really easy to convince all the people in the mainstream that somebody is evil the moment they're an inconvenience to you. And it could happen to both of us. It happened to you partially with Brazil. All you do, you just have to piss one certain segment of the population off, which you did, and immediately all the news articles start saying you're this, this, and this, and you're not. And start spinning that narrative, and then all of a sudden, like, I gotta leave. Can't even be here no more. That's all that happened to him, man. And it'll keep happening to a lot of people because we all have histories, we all have past. I don't even want to call them skeletons in the closet, but they can twist every single thing you've ever said or done to fit their narrative and like excommunicate you from the digital space. That's all I think that happened. It's just a normal dude who got successful, has a ton of women, sleeps around, shows the lifestyle that we all dreamed of having when we were 10 years old. Like, dude's living like Bruce Wayne in real life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just doesn't have a cape and shit. Like, that's it. And he's pissing people off that you're not allowed to piss off. That's my take on him.
All right, that was a good one. Yeah. Okay, so I pretty much covered everything. Do you have anything else you want to say? Shout out to your channel.
Well, shout out to everybody watching. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be doing a ton more content in the coming days, hopefully. I know we talked about him planning on staying here a little longer, and I look forward, man, to showing you around some more.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you sign up for members only if you have not already. Hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.